On January 4th, 2025, I published a video about camera angles and how they shape the way we perceive a scene. During that time, I also had an opportunity to create a montage while exploring the streets of Nairobi, experimenting with different camera angles. It was a simple project, but I genuinely enjoyed the process. Filmmaking has a strange way of doing that. Sometimes you start with a camera and end up discovering something deeper. But after finishing that video, a question stayed with me. Not about the gear, not about the editing, a much simpler question. The previous week, while brainstorming what to create next, a thought appeared on the screen of my mind. A simple question: can camera angles actually change how a story feels? Not just how a shot looks, but how we emotionally experience a moment. So I decided to test it. To find the answer, I challenged myself to film the same scene using 8 different camera angles. From the powerful low-angle shot to the massive ground-level shot, and therefore everything in between. But there was one problem, a big one. In filmmaking, one lesson keeps revealing itself over and over again. Without a story, you don't really have a film. And without a story, you can't design meaningful shots. So before touching the camera, I had to do something much more important. Create a simple scene that will allow us to explore these 8 different camera angles without the experiment feeling forced or random. And this is where the experiment truly begins. It's the next day of the shoot and I'm ready to execute all camera angles. So we have a short story that we want to make. So don't leave the video so that you can be able to see the ending or the final product. I think Naomi can speak a little bit or give us a word, some wisdom kidogo.
Yeah. So I've been making this beautiful mosaic crochet blanket. I think you capture some shots to show how it looks like.
It will be in the story.
Yeah.
It's actually great. The patterns.
Yeah, it's mosaic crochet. I've been making it for a while now because it's so big. It's like 3/4 way. So today I'm ready for the day. We're just going to, Brian is going to capture me working on this. So that's what you're doing today.
Yeah, so that will be amazing. So let's jump into the experiment. It's time to film the next scene of the short story. So currently I'm going to draw and I'll be using it in the final film. So I don't want to spoil what I'm currently drawing because you'll be able to see it in a while. So stay tuned. Don't miss anything. Actually, this is a creative video and I'm really enjoying making it. So let's do this. Sometimes in life, the things we nurture begin to feel like children to us. Ideas, passions, crafts that slowly grow alongside us. Back on 28th February 2024, one of those children in my life was born. Her name is Analia. The name means grace. And every time I glance into her eyes, something inside me softens. It's as if her presence quietly nurtures the gentler side of my soul. She has been a blessing in my life's journey. And honestly, sometimes I wonder who I will be without her. Each day as I take small steps towards raising her, I notice something fascinating. In a strange way, she has been raising me. I remember vividly the day Analia learned to walk. Her tiny legs struggled to lift her body from the ground. She will stand up, lose balance, and fall, again and again. But what fascinated me most was her tenacity. She never stopped trying. One day, she stood up again. Determined, she took one step, then another. But as she tried to take the 3rd step, she began to fall. So I reached out. I gently held her from the back and steadied her tiny hands. Slowly, she took another step, then another. And just like that, she learned to walk. That moment taught me something important. Nurturing something into its full potential is never easy. It requires patience, presence, and the willingness to support something while it slowly finds its balance. But recently, something has been weighing on my mind. For the first time in my life, I've been away from Analia for almost 6 months. And sometimes late at night, I find myself thinking about her, wondering how much she has grown, wondering what new words she has learned. Her first word was mama. I've tried many times to teach her another word, dada, but no matter how hard I try, she simply smiles and says, mama. Moments like these make me realize something. I want to spend more time with her. I want to watch her grow. Because every time I glance into her eyes, I see something deeply personal, a reflection of a small piece of my own soul. Since Analia became part of my life, she has quietly taught me many things, not only about her, but about myself. And as time moves forward, I know one thing for certain. I will continue nurturing her growth for as long as life allows, because she is truly a miraculous child. It has been 2 years with Analia. Her world continues to grow every day. New words, discoveries, new little lessons about life. And every night before she goes to sleep, I try to do something simple. I tell her a small story. Sometimes those stories are for her, but sometimes I realize they are also for me. Because through her, I've started asking deeper questions about life. Where did I come from? How should I live? And where am I going? In many ways, Analia has expanded the way I see the world. And perhaps now is a good time to tell you something. Analia is not my literal daughter. She is a reflection of something else that has been growing in my life. Cinematography. Just like a child learning to walk, cinematography in my life has been learning to find its balance. Sometimes falling, sometimes rising again, and slowly step by step, learning how to move with grace. Because life itself is unpredictable, and I feel to some extent, cinematography should be a reflection of that. After filming and editing everything, I ended up creating a short story that you have just watched. The story is told through different camera angles, and the results are fascinating. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Can camera angles really change how a story feels?